It's time to talk. We talk to me. We talk to you. It's gonna be a busy weekend, y'all. See, I didn't order no takeout for this past weekend's card because it was really it was the only fight, and I knew it wasn't really gonna last long. That it would not consume the weekend. But I'm thinking for this upcoming weekend's fights, I want to get something that'll last. I was thinking about pizzas, but pizza really don't last. It don't. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking Panda Express is what I'm thinking. Panda Express, you could get enough food to feed a family of 4, like I have to. It'll last you about 2 days. 12 pack of Corona. Gotta get that. Of course, I gotta order the pay-per-view. That's more. So this weekend is gonna set me back a little bit. But it's worth it because what I end up making will be more. It was a good fight yesterday, man. That was a good fight. I enjoyed that. I didn't expect it to be that good, like I said in the recap. I didn't think it was gonna be like that. Like I didn't think it was gonna be like a Gaddy versus Ward-esque. But I came away more impressed with young Conroy than I did with Chris. Oh shit, Virtuoso, earliest country. Here you go, Virtuoso. Here go the link. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I said in the last video I uploaded there. I don't know what people complaining about. $90, Brody. Y'all paying 80 and change for Benavidez versus Morrell. And I don't even remember who was on that undercard. Like, I don't even remember who was on that undercard. There go my man undefeated. He is the undefeated. Well, he got defeated this weekend by DraftKings. You know what I'm saying? He got defeated this weekend. That's still my boy, though. But he got defeated this weekend. My boy got defeated. He lost $160. Ain't my fault, dog. Ain't my fault, dog. That was a good-ass fight, man. I love them Brits, man. That's what I be saying, man. You think about it. Wardley versus Clark 1 and 2 was not for a title, but both them fights delivered. Both them shits. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank was not for a title, but both them shits delivered, man. I'm getting a sandwich right now. Bro, what you outside? You getting a chopped cheese? Chopped cheese? 25 equal combo McDonald's in New York. You bugging, my guy. A Big Mac is like 13 yams now, bro. Ain't it like, no, it ain't 13. I think it's like 8. That's still too goddamn much for a Big Mac, though, dog. Everything going up. Blood pressure going up. Cholesterol going up. Big Macs is going up. This shit is crazy. Salami and cheese. You simple ass motherfucker. This motherfucker eating a salami and cheese sandwich. Brody, you better get that chopped cheese and stop playing, bro. If Chris goes back up to 168, who do you think he fights next? Well, the thing with Chris, right? Just entertaining your scenario, Slide. That motherfucker not going up there for any old body, you feel me? So you could rule out the Pachecos, the Mobilis, the Melakuzievs, maybe even Munguia. If he were to go back up there, it's either for Canelo, I would say, either for Canelo or Shiraz, because those is the money fights. Chris bought the bread at the end of the day. That's right, you old simple ass motherfucker. This motherfucker eating salami and cheese. You old bologna sandwich ass motherfucker. Oh, ham and cheese ass motherfucker. Better get that chopped cheese, bro. It's late. Motherfucker right here. Was it a bad thing that he went to the hospital? I think so, Marty Marr. Because that's saying that a welterweight puts you in a hospital. It hasn't, de verdad, manín. It hasn't sunk in for a lot of people, bro. that at the end of the fight, Conor was good enough to go to the press conference. Chris Eubank Jr., the bigger, more experienced fighter, had to go to the hospital. You tell me, bro. If we fight and I'm bigger than you, but I gotta go to the hospital after the fight, and you at the press conference, what that say about me?
What up, Jules? Thanks for having me on. I think the reason... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think Eubank went to the hospital because he was dehydrated badly from the fight.
No, maybe. I just, you gotta understand, you gotta, like, I think what the middleweight run, right? When I think about any middleweight that's doing anything right now, right? I always go back to Golovkin, because Golovkin fought Rosado with the flu, right? That's the same Rosado that gave everybody problems. Martin Murray, Jaime Munguia, right? Melikuziev needed 2 fights with that man. To get 1 win, he needed 2 fights. That was at 68. And I just be thinking, yo, Golovkin fought that dude with a whole flu. You understand? With a whole motherfucking flu. And still beat his ass. That wasn't competitive at... That was just Golovkin beating his ass. With the flu. So when I think about Chris, I'm like, Brody, that wasn't really a Gabe Rosado you was in there with. Perspective is everything. Conor is a less experienced fighter than you are. He never fought for a title anywhere. He never. So... yeah, you won, but it's like, what we supposed to say? And then you had to go to the hospital after that. What we supposed to say?
Yeah, well, I don't know what it says about Conor Benn's power. I mean, after the 3rd round where Ben rocked him at least once, I thought Ben might actually drop him, and I picked Eubank to win on points. So I think Ben's got decent. Yeah, I think Ben's got decent power. I mean, let's not forget when Jermell Charlo moved up to fight Canelo. Canelo walked through all of Charlo's punches like they were slaps. So, yeah, even if you're a decent puncher and you move up, the guy is used to getting hit by big guys, so he doesn't feel your shots. So, yeah, I think Ben's got decent power.
Kiwi, what would you rate Eubank's performance? Because IFL TV asked this earlier today. What would you rate Eubank's performance on a scale of 1 to 10? What would you rate it?
I would say, all things considered, 6 or 7.
Wow.
That's
high, bro.
Okay, I figured we're going to disagree. Here's why. Okay, technically very poor, so maybe I should have gone 5. The reason I say, we'll say 6. The reason I say 6 or 7 is because...
Well, let's set a boundary line, Kiwi. You assign it. You assign it based on where you think a world-class fighter, right? World-class, that's world titles, that's top contenders. You set the boundary. Where do you think, not Chris per se, but where should a world-class fighter rank in on a scale of 1 to 10 in your opinion? Because that'll tell us where Chris should be.
Right. Okay. Now that you've mentioned the word world-class, I would say 4 for Chris. Where should a world-class fighter rank? They should rank around 7. I said all things considered because Eubank finished the fight stronger than Ben, even though he was dead at the weight. But yeah, as a world-class performance, I mean, both guys were poor.
Really? You think Chris was poor? Conor was poor?
Conor could have boxed a lot better than he did. Now, he showed lots of heart. Want to give him credit there. Technically, it just wasn't a good fight on either side. But yeah, Eubank, he crossed his feet way more than I think I've ever seen a top fighter do. So, yes, as a world-class performance, it wasn't good.
Let me go to undefeated. Undefeated, on a scale of 1 to 10, because IFL TV asked this earlier today, what would you rate Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance on a scale of 1 to 10?
If I'm being honest, I don't know, bro. After the 3rd fight, I stopped scoring it. I was enjoying the fight because it was a fucking fight.
It's a good fight.
Yeah, I stopped scoring it. I stopped scoring it, but I felt like it could have gone either way. As far as Chris's performance, I'd say it was I didn't see a lot. If I'm being, I'll give it a 6.
Wow.
Cause it's like what I think. I don't know, bro. I give it a 6. Honestly, I ain't.
So
Really
so
wasn't
let me ask
impressed.
you a question, Undefeated. Same question that I just asked Kiwi. Where does a world class fighter come in on that scale? Like at what part of the scale do you start saying, all right here is the world class, right here, somewhere in between 1 and 10? Where does that begin and where does like the domestic level end?
On a scale, I'd say like a 8. Like you know what?
Really? That's
Yeah.
high. That's
Okay.
high.
Like you know what? Boots. I'm not a fan of Boots, but what he did to fucking
Jesse
Lithuanian
Kansopoulos.
fucking yeah Lithuanian guy, I gave it a solid 8 because he did stop him.
Yeah, and
He
and he
stopped
was
him.
not, and Stanionis was never in that fight. He was
Never,
never in
bro.
that fight. He was never in
Never.
that fight.
See, like Eubank, I give him a 6. I mean, yeah, he was just I don't know, he was 6. Boots, I give him a solid 8. He got the job done. He dropped him. He stopped him.
Mm, 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 we got round 1 fight. What do you rate Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance on a scale of 1 to 10? What would you rate it?
Well, due to the fact that I saw that he was really dehydrated and his feet and his upper body didn't look like they matched, I'm gonna have to give him I would say a 4,
Mm,
a 4.5,
mm.
right around there.
God,
You know that I'm with y'all, right? I'm with Kiwi in fight. I gave him a 4. I gave him a 4. ¿Tú sabes por qué?
Mm.
Si eso
Yeah,
fuera
because-
Yanni Beck, ¿verdad? Vamos a decir Brian Norman moves up to fight Yanni Beck y Yanni Beck está ahí sufriendo y aguantando puño. And he's all over like Chris.
Like
What
that.
what would you say about Yanni Beck? Ay, este tipo no sirve. Él ganó, pero no sirve.
Literally, bro. Besides the rematch, what's next for Eubank? I mean,
Canelo.
That's the thing.
I mean, they said Canelo.
if you know what? I hope we get that fight. I'll go to London for that fight. I would legit go to London.
The
for
shit
that.
is that with Chris, you know what it's not gonna be. So that tells you what it will be. With Chris, you know that he ain't gonna fight Yanni Beck, bro. He's not gonna do that. He not gonna fight Adames, right? He not gonna fight Lara, right? He not gonna do none of that. So because you know what he's not after. He's not after belts. He's not really after that type of life. You know
Nope.
what it's gonna be then. He going
That's,
after the bag.
Yeah, that's kind of
Well,
smart of him.
the-
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Eubank, we knew going into this fight, the reason this fight was happening is because Eubank, he tried to become world champion against George Groves. He got absolutely smoked. And since then, Matt Korobov, I think Korobov, if he didn't tear his shoulder, would have won because
I agree with
Korobov
that.
was a good long-range boxer. Eubank can't, even against a small guy in Benn, he couldn't fight on the outside. So he really got lucky. Korobov tore his shoulder. And after that, didn't try to fight any of the champions, ducked all of the best guys. So you know that Eubank's not going to fight anybody that good. As for Benn, he showed he could do something against the man. I think most people would pick him against Barrios right now.
I think so.
The only thing I'm not sure about is how does he look going down in weight, because I don't think he put too much weight on, but still,
Well,
that
he
is a
came in.
factor.
He came in, and I said this in my award-winning video that I just uploaded. I got a Pulitzer for that. That he came in at 156. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot. He didn't come in at a full 160. And when he rehydrated, Eddie Hearn said that he had rehydrated to about 160 something. So it's like those numbers. Yeah, you can get back down to 47. It's gonna be tight.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
can get back down there. But if you spend a year, right? You spend a year up there. If you wait for Chris till September, that's the year, bro. That means it will have been well over a year since you made welterweight. So you got to think about that.
And that is why, even though undefeated, as you were saying, there isn't much left for Eubank. Like, he probably will push for the rematch. He has more say in the rematch. And I said this on a British show after the fight. He could say, look, I'm not making 160 again. I'm not going to just rehydrate 10 pounds. Therefore, I think it's better for Ben to, even though he'll make big bank in the rematch, to, like you said, Jules, not stay at a higher weight class too much longer. It's better to go back. If you plan on fighting for bouts, it's best to go back down now.
Yeah, I think so. Like, to me, look, you could do the rematch. It's like short-term and long-term gains. You could do the rematch for the short-term 10 mil because they said the terms for the rematch is the same. Everything is already ironed out and agreed to. So you go in there, all right, that's another 10 mil, right? You got to compare that to welterweight. If I go to welterweight, because this is what makes it a discussion. Do you stay up there for the 10 mil you know you're going to get, win or lose? You know you're going to get it. Fight, you used to fight, right? You used to be a boxer, right? I fight disappeared.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
I've,
round one. My fault, round one. I said the name wrong. Round one, right?
Well,
Yeah.
You used to fight, right? Put yourself in Ben's shoes. You got 10 mil waiting for you, another 10 mil in September, right?
Yep.
Got another 10 mil waiting for you. What you gonna get it whether you win or you lose. But if you stay in that motherfucker too long, you may not be able to get back down to welterweight.
Right.
What do you do?
For your career being 28 years old, I might want to take a shot at one of those belts. I might want to try to fight Mario Barrio at 147. You still got an opportunity at greatness. If like you said, you're still gonna get that 10 mil. And then you can still...
It's either or, bro. You see what I mean?
It's either or?
The situation that he's in is kind of either or.
Right.
You know the 10 mil with Chris. You gonna get it whether you win or you lose, just like the Saturday. You gonna get it regardless.
Okay.
But you staying up there might compromise your ability to go back to 47. You like if you stay. Remember, Conor has not made 47 in a long time. Like the last two fights that he had before this was not at 147. They was at 154.
Mm-hmm.
So your window is kind of closing to get down there and fight for a title. So in that situation, what do? Do you stay there, fight for the 10 mil, or go down?
Well, depending on what you're going to do in your career at that point in your career. See, as far as Chris Eubank Jr., he's 35 years old. He can grab another bag and really ride into the sunset. Now, do you play this for his career or do you worry about yours? Are you going just for the bag because you don't feel that you're going to really accomplish much? Because let me tell you something. Right down, the division down from him, 154, is just a bunch of sharks. I don't think he beats any of the champion or basically some of the top 3 or 4 guys there.
There's only one dude at 154 I think he could beat. Literally only one. And that's Josh Kelly. Other than that,
yes.
Don't beat them other dudes, bro.
Right. What are you going to get paid for beating Josh Kelly?
I think it's...
Eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo, que tú sabes, you go to welterweight.
Right.
You go to welterweight. Look, you could fight Barrios, ¿verdad? You could probably beat him too, but that's not a $10 million fight.
No,
it's not. It's not a $10 million
I think it's clear.
I think it's clear what.
Wait, Undefeated is talking. Shut your ass up. Undefeated is talking. When Undefeated is talking, everybody got to shut the fuck up, include me.
Damn right, bro. Damn right. As a fan, bro, the rematch is next. Get the 10 mil. You have to get the money. Get the 10 million. I will forget 47. I would like for him to stay at 54, fight Boots, because that's a big fight as well. That's a big fight. At 47 is not. It's a shit fight, bro. It's a shit division.
Okay.
Now you want him to
Undefeated.
get killed.
Espera. Este lío. You know that 147 una mierda. Es una mierda, ¿verdad? Pero, ponlo tú. Yo no pensé mucho in Boots versus Stanionis because I knew Boots is gonna win. He's gonna fucking win, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
With Conor, it's spicier because he's flawed. It's spicier that Conor being there keeps money flowing through the division, and it could keep good fights happening, right?
Yep.
That's why I don't mind that you say, you know what? Chris, you got it, bro. You won that shit. I'm out of here. I'm going to go to 47. I don't mind that because you got to think, you stay up there too long, bro, you may not be able to go back to 147. And you're going to have to go to 54. And they will fuck you up at 154, bro.
Yep.
They will fuck you up.
You know, all that crop is going to 47. Haney, Garcia, Rowley, I wouldn't even mind a Haney versus Conor Benn fight in the
No, I
UK.
wouldn't mind that because I feel like he
Yeah.
could knock out Haney, and that'd be amazing.
I would love that.
I would like
That would be
I would
amazing.
like him to fight Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia too.
Right,
That's
Brian? Fuck around with Brian and find out, bro. Like, but do you guys see what I mean? Short-term and long-term gains.
Right.
You got a
right.
lot of guys. They're worth money. You know, those kids are worth money, and they all hit like little girls anyway. I mean, Ryan, come on, like, yeah, you hit a little bit, but not like that. You didn't knock out Devin, bro. Shut your ass up. You didn't. You know, I'm like, you didn't. If you would have knocked him out, I would have said está bien. You didn't
Right.
knock him out, bro. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Jewel.
you
Jewel,
got
I'm
Conor.
sorry.
He got a permanent frown on his face. That motherfucker don't know how to smile. He's 28. His man strength is coming in. You know what I'm saying? Dick getting hard, man getting strong. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think with Eddie Hearn is definitely going to try and get Boots undisputed as much as possible, as long as Boots can make the weight. Then he wants Conor to pick up the remaining belts once Boots would
I
vacate.
think that window is closed, Kiwi. I really do.
On the undisputed at welterweight for Boots.
We all know what's about to happen. Barrios is fighting Pacquiao. Norman is fighting Jin Suzuki. Jin may beat him. Just being real. Jin might
I
beat
agree. That's a real tough fight, Norman and Suzuki. So he wants either way. He doesn't want Conor to fight Boots because Boots will kill him. So he wants Conor to pick up whatever belts Boots doesn't end up getting, and if he's able to get the Barrios fight, then obviously he's going to try and convince Boots not to fight him. So he's probably trying to push for Boots to move up to 154 soon, and in which case Conor, again, I'd pick him over Barrios. I mean, all these other guys, Giasov and Norman, those are interesting fights, and, you know, we'll see if he can make them.
It's time to stop acting like a bunch of little bitches. Because I know y'all scared of these questions. Motherfuckers gonna straddle that fence like Violet Myers.
What?
Yes.
What questions? Yeah. What questions?
Simple fucking question, bro. Conor Benn and Montes Stanionis. Who wins?
Stanionis. Wait.
Conor Benn.
Actually, now that Stanionis got knocked out, I'll say Benn. But if he was still undefeated, I'd pick Stanionis.
That's a country.
Country don't even want to answer no fucking questions. He been sitting there quiet, he don't want to say no shit. He want to wait for two more people to pick Conor, and then he'll say, "Yeah, I got Conor."
I'm thinking about what I want, you know, other fight.
No, you didn't even say hi, motherfucker. You didn't even say hi.
Hey, I was trying to be respectful and not interrupt. So shut the fuck up. Damn it.
You guys, I wanted to ask you guys something. Sometimes I watch
I
box.
didn't get Country's pick.
Oh, okay.
Country, Stanionis, Conor Benn.
You know what? I gotta go with Conor, and the reason why is because Stanionis.
Because Undefeated picked him.
Because he quit in that last fight against Boots. And
yo, you right. He quit.
He quit. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Conor.
It sounds like I'm the only one who's been critical of Conor's technique. I mean, his technique didn't look that good against Eubank. Like, if he had got behind his jab for the fight, I think he might have won. Like, Eubank still can't.
Nobody's rating Conor's technique. They're rating his physicality because he's a physical fighter. He's not a technician. Nobody thinks he is. But if you could withstand punches at 160, and if you could hurt a 160, even if he's just really not a world-class 160, but if you could hurt one, yeah, you could probably hurt Stanionis, can't you? Probably can.
But especially now that Stanionis got smashed by Boots and ended up quitting. But yeah, I mean, it's been, he looked great at a class where he didn't have to cut weight, and, you know, to a lot of guys that matters. So we'll see what he can do at welterweight.
Country's fan base is growing. Mexican Killer said, "I got Conor unless he loses." Shout out to Country.
Hey guys, I wanted to ask you guys a small little two-part question here, right? Out of all the things I watch boxing for, and it's just to learn about boxing matches, and Conor did something that I think is getting swept under the carpet, meaning his weight jump. and how he performed versus other fighters doing these kind of weight jumps and being criticized, like Jamel Charlo when he went up against Saul Canelo Alvarez in the possible fight with Terrence Crawford. Does this go to show you, with good preparation, good training, you can sustain the weight? Because one of my biggest concern was Conor Benn gassing out. Now another thing, this is the second part to the question. Does this bring truth to what Conor Benn's father said when he sparred with William Skull and made him quit by the 8th round? I know a father's always gassing his son up, but and then we saw the performance, so those are some of the things I think about. Like, I was like, wait a minute, Conor did this with 14-month layoff and jumped up all these weight divisions. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say this about yesterday's fight is not a good example of fighters that are jumping up in weight, for the reason that Terrence is jumping up for a pound-for-pound fighter, elite among elite. Okay. That's not the same thing as jumping up for Chris Eubank Jr.
Okay.
It's not. Chris
Nope.
has never been a world champion. Like, literally, you never won a title from nobody because you never been on no level to win a title from nobody. You tried. George Groves outclassed you. So you could, I know this is going to sound crazy, and I know a lot of my British friends and shit, they're going to get mad at me, but I view that as Canelo beating Rocky Fielding. It's like that. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you all right, yeah, you tall and all that, and you a bigger weight class. Now, granted that Conor didn't win, but I'm just saying that Chris is of that ilk, that you not world level. You never were.
But wouldn't it be kind of like the same thing? Like, you put Chris Eubanks in Saul Canelo Alvarez slot, but the guy that's coming up isn't Conor Benn, it's Terrence Crawford, an elite competitor.
Once again, you can't. That's not a good parallel, right?
All right.
Because Conor Benn is no Terrence Crawford, and Chris Eubank is no Canelo. The stuff that they proved, the stuff they did, is the stuff neither of them did. You dealing with a different gravy, bro. Them two is a different gravy to them dudes that fought yesterday. Nothing against them, but how you gonna liken Conor to Terrence? In what way?
I'm saying in the sense of, does that give me more confidence that Terrence can do it? Because now if you're saying that Conor Benn is a lower grade and Terrence is a better athlete going into the Saul Canelo Alvarez fight, it gives me more confidence for Terrence Crawford. And I know that the opponent he's fighting is more on the line of an elite opponent like Saul, and that's dangerous. But
you think the left hook? You think Crawford left hook gonna rock Canelo?
Nah, I don't think he's gonna knock him out. No one knocked out Canelo. No one. He's got an iron chin.
But this is what I'm saying. That the only thing those two situations have in common is okay to do this jumping up 2 weight classes.
Yeah, that's all I'm taking it from. That's it. That's all I'm taking it from.
But other than that, all right. Other than that, they worlds apart. It's worlds
round
apart.
One, like, Canelo is one of the best body punchers in boxing. Crawford is an excellent IQ technical boxer, but he's going to be taking those body shots like everybody else, like Lara did, like Golovkin. I mean, there's Benn, young athletic guy who is very very wild, and Eubank, a guy who never stepped up again after he failed at world level once. Like, massive difference there.
I never questioned their skill at all. I just the jump.
Y'all remember who the host is, because y'all taking up too much space. Gorgonzola.
The guy that 68 pounder, the Spanish guy, the black dude. What's his name? The 68 pounder. Remember that dude that fought? Who did he fight? He's badass too. Gongora. Carlos Gongora. Yeah, Gongora.
What would you rate Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance yesterday? We know he won. Toda la mierda.
Yeah.
But what would you rate his performance on a scale of 1 to 10? What would you say?
An 8.
Really? An 8?
No, 8. But this is the thing. A ring.
No
this,
way.
is the thing. This is the thing. You know how he said that it took like the bad blood in Nigel Benn's son Connor Benn to bring out the best in him.
Right.
He showed a little bit of flashiness that you would like to think he can't compete. He can't compete against the Johnny Banks. He's got a little something, but he didn't do it when he was young. Can he do it when he's old? If he didn't do it when he was young, so how is he going to do when he's old now?
Espera, si tú estabas sufriendo con un tipo del 147, eso significa que tú no puedes con Johnny Beck. Tú no puedes.
Yeah, but that also makes you think Connor Benn is not that bad. But then you kind of
I'll concede that. If any one of them impress me, right? It's not hate. It's just that's the little dude that moved up.
Connor Benn put up. Was it good enough though against a bigger Class B fighter, Class B minus?
If you hurt in B class middleweights, that tells me you could hurt B plus welterweights. That's what that tells. You hurt a bigger dude more than once.
I'm still a fan of Connor Benn, dude. I'm still a fan of Connor Benn. I think he is hard enough.
You really give Chris a 8. Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about Connor Benn against the taller dude was that he was falling on his front foot. Every time he throwed, he was just throwing everything that was falling on his face. Every time he threw a punch from Connor Benn. That's the reason he was getting clipped a lot, dude. He was getting clipped. He was getting clipped by Chris Eubank.
I'm going to go to Drew. Drew.
Yeah.
IFL TV asked earlier today, what would you rate Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance yesterday on a scale of 1 to 10? And it's an open question. You feel me? Because we got a lot of different answers. We got guys on the panel that gave Chris a 4, but Gonzalo gave him an 8. What would you rate Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance on a scale of 1 to 10?
Hey guys, but it was fan friendly too. It was a fan friendly and it delivered.
It's a number, bro.
It was a good fight. It was a good fight. I'm not saying it wasn't. Pero si tú me estás diciéndome a mí, okay, if it's 1 to 10 y 10 significa que you're elite, okay, then no. Para mí eso no puede ser un 8 because an elite middleweight no va a estar sufriendo with a welterweight. If you want to see what an elite middleweight,
okay, no. Nobody said 8 overall. 8 overall. This is the caveat.
Drew, help!
Let me jump in there. 8 over. I will say this, Jules. It was good enough for him to sit on the sideline and wait for the Canelo payday next year.
Absolutely.
So about a 6.
That's what I get.
6 is flunking, dude.
That's what I.
But Jules, he could sit down for the rest of he could pull a Crawford, right, and wait for Canelo next year.
No. Just call it a good caveat to the squared circle fights between Teofimo and the Inui. This week's are like it's okay, dude.
La pelea fue
buena.
La pelea fue un 8. La pelea. Pero Chris, para mí, I'm judging a middleweight, ¿verdad? I'm judging a middleweight. As a middleweight, to me. Oh, that's a 4, bro. Porque si tú estás sufriendo con este muchacho, he's smaller than you, bro, and he doesn't have a lot of experience. The best dude he fought was Chris Algieri. He doesn't have a lot of experience.
You're talking about a middleweight versus a welterweight. It should have been what Canelo did to Amir Khan.
It should have been what Golovkin did. It should have been what Golovkin did to Brook. Eso es lo que yo estoy.
And you heard him.
Exactly.
Am I crazy for wanting Kell Brook versus Eubank right now?
I want Kell Brook versus Connor Benn, actually.
Okay, I'll take that too.
Hey, that'd be an interesting one. I'll take that.
No, hey, how about Eubank? No, Connor Benn versus Chris Eubank versus the dude that beat the guy that killed Patrick Day. What's his name? He just won
Matia. El Matatán Matia.
The dude that lost, the dude that killed, he's Conroe Wallace, or what's his name? He lost to the Mexican dude about 2 weeks ago.
Who's the dude what was Patrick Day's last fight?
No, Patrick Day, the dude that killed him. He's like a dude from the Midwest. He lost to this Mexican dude. Unheralded, but a good punching power about last week or 2 weeks ago. ¿Cómo se llama? What's Charles Cornwall? What's his name?
Charles Conwell.
Cornwell Wallace, dude. I was calling him Cornwell Wallace, like the general from the fucking
General Tao's chicken, bro.
Higgins, all over
hey, Ring IQ. Hey, I'm gonna throw a crazy question because I used to be stationed there. Where do you think the Spanish flu originated in? The real fucking coronavirus. The Spanish flu.
Espera. We talking about Spanish
back
flu.
in the day.
Espera. We talking
Where
about
do you think it got
1912.
started?
Wait. I'm trying to get the date down. We talking about Spanish flu in 1912, right? The one that killed all the people in 1912.
Yeah, the one that. Because there's some different stories. The word originated.
All I remember when I was doing my training was they said it didn't come from Spain. That's what I remember. They call it the Spanish flu, but it's not from Spain.
No,
That's
I think it came from New Mexico, didn't it? Or Texas?
No. It was in Fort Riley, Kansas, and the soldiers, it started in Kansas.
Why did they call it the Spanish flu if it was in Kansas?
Because they might have picked it up from and the soldiers might have brought it back, and then that's where it spread in Kansas. Because the military soldiers.
Es que los españoles son sucios. Ellos no se bañan allá. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Like I always say. No,
1912. You're talking 1912, Jules. 1912.
You said something about.
Can you do a Dr. Fauci impersonation?
What?
Dr. Fauci? I can't remember how that. I know he's talking about.
Gain of function.
I don't know his voice. I don't know
Jules.
his voice like that.
Hey, Jules.
I'm in the middle of a sentence, bro. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando hoy? I don't know his voice like that to do it. I would have to study him. Like the voices I know how to do is because I hear him all the time. I don't know his, you know what I mean? All I remember is he's a bitch and he lied. That's all I remember.
Yeah, he's scared some heat right now. The real Dr. Fauci.
He told everybody wear a mask. That shit didn't work. He told everybody get a shot. Motherfucker still got sick. Fuck him. This is what I got to say. Yeah, fuck him.
But fuck you did say something, not Jules, a very good
about because my dad, when he was working in a similar profession, Dr. Fauci apparently got in trouble for some plagiarism, but because he knew some people, that got shifted under the rug.
Fuck Dr. Fauci.
Yeah. But as far as middleweight, Jules, I'll say it like I said it on the last live. I'd favor Boots Ennis over these guys at 160. Eubank, Adames, Boots that have a harder time at 54 than 60.
Esa es la próxima cuestión.
Yeah.
Conor Benn was able to do that to Chris. If Conor Benn was able to do that to Chris, lo que eso me dice a mí is Boots would have knocked him out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where where Boots brought it back. So if you don't include the Karens, now let's isolate Karen as one difficult opponent. Boots, he's doing pretty good still. You can't say that he's not.
Unless el único tipo que yo veo que yo sé que esa pelea va a ser difícil. And I don't think it's going to happen anyway because there's no reason for it to happen. Pero la pelea más difícil para Boots would be Madrimov. Porque ese tipo se mueve. He's not going to stop moving. And that's what you struggle with. Movement.
Yeah.
But all these other dudes that want to stand in front of you, flat-footed, squared up, letting them go. Yeah, he could beat Chris. Because that's
what you said Chris Eubank. What about Chris Eubank versus Laura?
You said Madrimov because Madrimov is 154. But then I was putting like a green, and I still do because when you think of Boots Ennis, you think of him being on the fringes of 147, to where he's a 47, but then you're thinking 154 pound in your mind, like that's when it's gonna. And then when you get there, 54-pound division is hot right now.
I don't want
to. Which is why I said he'd have a harder time fighting the guys at 54 than 60. Come on, Boots versus Lara, Adames,
Mono Ramos, I know lower outwork. Well, Tim Tszyu, all those dudes, fucking the tall dude, the champion right now. What's the tall motherfucker? The guy got a sister.
Fondora.
The Tyrant Inferno. Fundillo. then you got Mortazalias, then you got fucking Ortiz, then
Fundillo.
Dude, the list goes on, dude.
As far as Chris Eubank, come on.
Terrence Crawford, but he's jumping up to 68. I don't know why.
Let me go to undefeated. Undefeated. You don't know that word, Fundillo?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying y'all calling him fundido.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
back to the Eubank shit, right? I think it's a perfect. They're at a perfect schedule. You know what, Chris Eubank? Go ahead and get the rematch. Get that $10 million payday. Canelo's gonna hopefully have the Crawford September, May in the UK, bro. 2026 at the O2.
I mean, they could do that. They could
Eubank
do
versus
that.
Canelo.
Oh well, no. That's the
Well,
thing, dude. That's the thing. Yeah, I give him an 8, but in reality, in terms, in the reality, like of life and life's terms, no, that's not a fucking 8. You cannot compete at the level
No,
that Chris Eubank.
Pero tú no ves que esa es la cuestión. If you're rating, por eso que yo le dije a round one, okay, where does, on a scale of 1 to 10, right? It's the same scale. Where does domestic level end?
And that's what I was gonna say, domestic.
And all right, wait. And where does world class begin? Because that's what will tell you where Chris should be. That if domestic level ends at 4 or 5 and world class begins at 6, then Chris, you a 4. You a 4.
Yeah,
you ain't even the best in your country, let alone in the world. You're not.
I think this remains domestic level. It doesn't transition. It was a domestic level of fight.
Then it's a 4.
Well, if we're looking at progression, at how long have you been in the game and how old are you? When we watch the 4 horsemen of our era and we compare them to each other, how much progression or how much better has Devin Haney got since he started? How much did Tio versus Ryan?
Okay,
versus Ryan Garcia, and then they grew up in the same era, and then you see Ryan's progression has not. He didn't get to that level where that the Tios, the Devins, they gotten better. Tank Davis, they all came up together. They're all world champions. Ryan kind of stood the entire time at the same gear as far as level. So if we're rating him, what should he be as a middleweight at the age, and what should you accomplish? Then
entertainment level. I said it. I said it 8. A 4. If we cut that in half, it's a 6. It's still a
hold on, Jason. Go ahead.
No, we're doing way too much math for fucking Chris Eubank Jr. here. The performance was a 3. Like, I was entertained as shit by that fight yesterday. I was. But here's the thing. I don't think Conor Benn was shit, and he took you to the limit and hurt you several times moving up. Bro.
The fight could be an 8 in terms of entertainment value, because what you're rating in that scale is entertainment. If you were entertained, está bien. Pero rating Chris is a different question. What would a dude like that, like I said, like, yo, when Kell Brook came up for Gennady 5 rounds, you out of here, right? When Khan came up for Canelo 6 rounds, you out of here, bro. You see what I mean? Whereas you really went life or death with Conor Benn. You did. You had to go to the hospital after the fight. You went life or death with him.
Conor Benn's tough, though.
And Khan, and in your examples, Jules, Khan and Brook were world-class fighters and world champions at multiple weights. Conor Benn sucks. I know you think he's...
Nah, don't say that.
Yeah, well,
don't say that.
He's not a world champion.
Well, no, that's the thing. That you weren't. If you didn't get it from Conor Benn when he was younger, he's not gonna do it now. And if he didn't do it against Conor Benn doesn't suck. He's pretty good. But I'm just saying,
he's good.
Eubank has got something, but I don't know, man. You guys will give him a chance.
So the question is, are all O's the same?
Wait. I'm the host. Go ahead, Undefeated.
Thank you, Julius, the host. What y'all are saying, Conor Benn, right? What's his best performance? Because if y'all think about it, his last fight was against Dotson or whatever. He looked like ass.
But
his best performance was Algieri.
Okay, so, but this is what I'm thinking. What is his best perform? What is his best? The way he is now. What is his best like the right now? His best performance. Never mind performance, like condition. Can he compete? Did you see something?
For me, he looked good yesterday. Let me say this. I'm not
present moment.
Hold on. I'm not in the business of making excuses for fighters. I look at objective matters of fact. The fact of the matter is you were coming off a 14-month layoff. That's a fact. The other fact is you never fought it that way. That's another fact. Chris has. For many, many years, Chris has. You never even fought at a title at your own weight. You didn't fight for one at 147. You didn't fight for one at 154. So if you go to 60 and you give a guy a run for his money, yeah, that's good. To in my book, that's good. Because that means that depending on who you fight at 47 and 54, you might knock their ass out because you had enough power to hurt a middleweight. Granted, he wasn't the best middleweight, but still, you had enough power that several times when a left hook got in, you hurt him. That's good. Whereas Chris, for me, even though you won, you shouldn't be languishing with someone this much smaller than you and that is this inexperienced. You shouldn't be. Brody, you've been around for ages. You in your mid-30s. You're not new to boxing. You've been around.
No, yeah. And the size disparity, well, like, it was crazy because I actually noticed it. So, like, this looks funny. I thought, like, Conor Benn looked like, and this is where I kind of missed it. I thought that we're, like, going into a prediction. Conor Benn actually looks more like a Teofimo Lopez size. They're
he's
around
not
the same
he's
size.
not big. I'll say Conor is probably, because Teofimo's actually small, bro. Like he's actually small. Like I think if you stood Teofimo next to Conor would be 1 or 2 inches taller, right? These they ain't big guys, them guys. But Conor's not a big welterweight. Like he's not. Like yeah, you're not. You know what I mean? Boots is a big welterweight. That's a big one. Virgil was a big welterweight. These are guys 5'10", 5'11" around there. That's big for 147. You see what I mean? Conor is what, 5'8", 5'9"? He's not a big guy. Not even big for welter. So you can see the discrepancy in size between him and Chris. You can see that Chris is bigger. Not just height, not just length, in terms of body. Chris is bigger, right? So that you could hurt him. I look at that, yeah, that's a good thing that you could do that. That tells me you might knock out a Stanionis. If you could hurt a middleweight, yeah, you probably could knock out a Stanionis.
This is one of those times that where I noticed 2 fighters from different divisions. I could say, oh, that guy's a smaller division. Oh, that dude's he should be fighting. They're different divisions. It was clear.
Jay, I gotta go take a shit, but before I take it to the toilet, what would you rate Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance on a scale of 1 to 10? Go.
Mic check 1 2. Could y'all hear me?
What's up,
man? No, I can't hear you, Jay.
No.
No.
I would rank his performance I give it a solid 7.5. It exceeded. I actually picked him to stop kind of late. I thought he would. But he held tough. He did. And great fight though, man. It exceeded expectations in my opinion. But I give it a solid 7.5.
The question about the height difference was Conor Benn coming in at 5'8" and Chris Eubank 5'11". If anybody.
I mean, we see height differences like that all the time. Like we see that in British scraps all the time, where it looks like 2 guys are in different weight classes. So I guess that didn't
Right.
What would you guys rate his performance?
I rated his performance a 4, but it determines as skill. But the night, the event itself, I'll give it like an 8. The magnitude, how they fought for their skill level, and what handicaps they brought to the fight. Like we saw that Chris Eubank was weight trained, and we knew that Conor Benn was dealing with more weight or whatever. And so for what the fight brought and the stage that it was set, it definitely brought to the fans and the ahs and the oohs. So that part I give it an 8. But as far as skill, boxing skill, I rank his performance a 4. Because these guys are right, man. Chris Eubank Jr. should have knocked Conor Benn out. He should have got him out of there 6-7 rounds, and they're right.
I should also mention.
Is that true?
Just right quick. I should also mention just right quick. Sorry to cut you off. I was on first glance. I was actually going to rewatch the fight tonight when I go to work. and come up with another analysis. So my score might be lower, but that's just what I would give it right now. I mean, but I'd like to see it again just to further reevaluate, though. So go ahead.
What'd you say, Country?
Somebody said that Ben broke Eubank's jaw. Is that true?
No, he came out and said no, that was a lie. Chris Eubank, he already came out and said it on social media.
I mean, he was speaking really good yesterday for a guy with supposedly broken jaw. I'm just gonna put it
if he had a broken jaw, he would have went straight to the hospital, man. For real. Let's be honest.
He did go straight to the hospital.
He said that. I didn't know if he did or not.
He did. He went straight to the hospital. He didn't make the post-fight interview. He went straight. He was rolling out in an ambulance, but then for Conor Benn to say that is because he knows he hit him with a clean punch, but he can't determine his jaw's broken over. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what Tyson Fury tried to do after the first fight.
Yeah.
He broke his jaw. All that nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People said Errol Spence Jr. had a broken jaw, and who else was it?
He got his ass whooped, but didn't have a broken jaw, though.
No, he had a broken soul.
Hey, he looked like
Broken
that
spirit.
guy that said, I want a few more lumps. How many lumps you want with your sugar? Boop, 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 boop. He looked like that. He looked like he had cartoon lumps on top of lumps.
Can I have some more?
I admire his
Oh
toughness,
my God.
but, man, like I was begging the fight to be stopped after the 7th round. Like,
No, I had a feeling inside of me that I literally would, if I was there, I would have jumped in the ring and I would have fought Terrence Crawford for Errol Spence. You did enough. Back up. Leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? Bro, like, I was like, stop. Like, okay, you proved your point.
And it was only 6-7 rounds at the fight.
Yeah. That was I didn't expect a one-sided beatdown like that. I expected a totally competitive fight.
Nobody did, man. Nobody did.
I thought that the Errol Spence Jr. that fought Kell Brook was gonna show up. The kid that got me out of my seat, that saw the young American going out there daring to be great, that he was the underdog, that I can remember that fight, man. Like, emotionally, it brought me out of my seat. I was so happy for Errol. I thought that Errol was going to show up. Yeah.
I have a question for you. Why in God's name would you think that when the most recent fight we saw him in, Ugas rocked him back to the ropes and the referee had to do the weirdest stoppage just to get him to finish the fight?
Right, because there's always that fight in between when a fighter comes back and he didn't look too bad, and then to beat Ugas, the guy that beat Manny Pacquiao, and the way he did it, I said to myself, well, I give Errol Spence that. Would he could put something behind that, coming off of that. I didn't know how hurt he was and how much they did keep away from us from the car accident. I have no measuring stick for that. So I was just hopeful.
My dude, let me tell you something. The way you said that, the dude that beat Manny Pacquiao, Manny was coming off for 2 years of inactivity when he fought Ugas, and he fought him on short notice. That one don't even count to me.
Okay.
Ugas, that shit don't count. Y'all swapped out Errol at the last minute for a dude, 42 years old? He was 42 when he fought Ugas. Training for a southpaw. At the last minute, y'all swap him out for Ugas, right? I don't give you no credit for that. You fighting an old ass man coming off for 2 years of inactivity. Spence, like I stand by this. Spence is smoking mirrors. He always has been.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Even the smoke and mirrors, can we just add the fact of what is their record when they cross the street? I thought I was banking on that too. They always lose.
Yeah.
I never questioned the fact that his career wasn't smoke and mirrors. I just enjoyed his boxing as a fan at that point in my life, and what he did
we talking about objective matters of fact. Who you beat, Errol? You've been moving backwards your whole career. The best dude you fought was Kell Brook. How do I know? Kell Brook beat Sean Porter. After Kell, who you fought? Sean Porter. Then after Sean Porter, who you fought? Danny Garcia. Who beat Danny Garcia? Sean Porter. Who beat Ugas? Sean Porter. You've been moving backwards. Your competition didn't get better. It literally got worse. Because you was fighting dudes that got beat by the dude that you already beat. Your competition didn't get better.
I mean, he did beat fist bumping Mikey Garcia, though.
All right, that was cool. Go ahead,
Jules, did you remember what you said when the Spence-Danny Garcia fight was announced? You remember what you said? That it would be a warm-up fight?
Danny Garcia is a tune-up fight. I said Danny is a tune-up fight.
How'd the fight play out?
It's a tune-up fight. Danny is a tune-up. Danny is nothing but a high-profile tune-up that dodged everybody. I stand by this. Igis Kavaliauskas would have beat his ass. Oh yeah, I think Igis would have beat his ass. I think the Jose Benavidez that Terrence fought at 47, unbeaten. I think he would have beat Danny Garcia. But Danny's not good. Danny is another lie. I think Pascal would have beat him at 40. Yeah, Pascal would have beat you. Why? Because you flat-footed and slow. You work off the counter, right? Where Pascal throw good straight punches from the outside on the balls of his feet. He wouldn't have been there for you to counter him. I think he would have beat you. I think Danny Garcia, that's why I get irritated when his name gets brought up. Because it's like, Brody, you've been living off for 2 wins from over 10 years ago. The Khan win was over
2013.
For real, like the Khan win was over. Well, that was like what 2014. Khan, that was like so
Khan was before Matisse because Matisse was 2013.
Oh shit, that's right. So and the whole 2011. The whole thing of rating Danny Garcia as a somebody is all based on shit from 140. Because at 147 you didn't beat nobody. Who he beat at 147?
No, he's known for 2 wins and chasing a Manny Pacquiao.
Robert Guerrero.
Don't fucking disrespect Brandon Rios, bro.
Yo, look, man. What the fuck I'm supposed to do? Fuck you want me from me?
And don't get me started. Remember the last year they've been saying Danny Garcia is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, bro. Like Danny, for what? For what?
I mean, like what's funny is like Natty passing Jose Benavidez Jr. around like a spliff.
Yeah, like Danny, like those guys. All right, in fairness, I would say to me, Sean Porter has more of a Hall of Fame career than Danny. Why? Yes. It helps that he beat Danny, but he fought everybody. You really can't say that about Danny. No, you fought Keith Thurman and Sean Porter and Spence. That's it. You've been across. Oh, and you didn't beat none of them. If you would have beat some of them, okay, but you didn't beat none of them. Sean could say he beat Adrian Bronier. He could say that he beat Sean Porter. I mean, that he beat Ugas. He could say that he beat Danny. Danny, you can't. Nah, homie. Like, what?
No, wait on a second. You're disrespecting Danny Garcia, the man who beat Brandon Rios. You know that dude Manny Pacquiao made cry?
You're forgetting that's the Danny Garcia that beat fucking Rod Salka, motherfucker.
Yeah. Rod the God, bro.
He got stopped by Laura in his last fight, didn't he?
He quit, you mean? He got hit with a hard punch. Okay. It's not like he got cold slept. He got hit with a hard ass punch and decided, I'm not getting up after this. I'm good. I'm gonna stay down here, ref. He quit.
Now let me ask you this: if Danny's a Hall of Famer, yeah, right. Is Lara a Hall of Famer?
No, none of them dudes over. To me, none of them dudes over there is Hall of Famer.
Lara's pretty good,
man.
Errol
Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is going to Hall of Fame because he fought Jonathan Garcia. Jonathan Garcia.
What? Who? You mean Mikey Garcia?
Nah, man. Come on, man. Jonathan Garcia. You guys know what I'm talking about.
No, we don't actually.
You making a joke?
He fought the great. He fought the great.
That's Errol Spence Jr.'s first fight. That's the first person he fought.
Oh,
he was 3-0.
Okay, we ain't gonna remember that.
I thought you were dead serious.
I'm gonna say, Errol is the only one. Errol might be out of the guys in that crop. I don't think he's Hall of Fame personally. I don't. But because people are sentimental and because they're stupid and because it's a lot of homo shit and the media shit, they might vote him in on some sentimentality shit. But I'm like, nah, homie, you're not Hall of Fame. Well, what's Hall of Fame about your career? What?
What they're trying to say Hall of Fame is that he's the longest reigning welterweight, but his reign got gaps in it. Got gaps. Got holes. He didn't fight. Right, of inactivity. And then the people are saying, so what? You got to count it. He does have it from this time to this time, and that's where the argument lies. I don't know what you think about Jules.
I think that's some bullshit because the length of your reign has everything to do with your title defenses. The reason you bring up a Joe Louis, for example, having a long reign is because he had 25 consecutive title defenses. It wasn't like he just had a belt and wasn't fighting like that. Errol wasn't even fighting like that, dog. Like, yo, 2020, you fought once. 2021 you sat out. 2021 you sat out. 2022 you fought Ugas. That's the only fight you had. 2023 you fought Crawford. That's the only fight you had. You got your ass beat. That's your reign. That's your reign.
Here we are almost 2 years later, no comeback fight.
I mean, didn't Leo Santa Cruz hold a belt forever and not defend that shit? I mean, like, your reign don't mean shit.
Another one.
But the argument stands that he had the 3 belts, and that as a welterweight, there was no welterweight that had 3 belts for that long. And I'm on the side with Jules. You have to be measured by competition, by something. Inactivity is not going to give you that. It shouldn't award you it, but they're going to try to count it.
George, the last Patriot. Hold on, let me read the super chat. Fantasy fight: Conor Benn versus Errol Spence Jr. at 147. I mean, that'd be a good fight. That'd be a good fight. It would have been, I should say, because what he's imagining is a healthy Errol Spence Jr. That's why it's a fantasy fight. Well, a healthy Errol Spence Jr. I think beats Conor Benn. Healthy. That doesn't mean he doesn't. That doesn't make it easy, because I don't think that would be easy. Errol defense was never good, and that didn't all of a sudden start with the car accident. Like, nah, his defense was actually never good if you were paying attention. Like, that's why you kept getting hit with jabs by Kell Brock. I remember it was another dude that rocked him with an uppercut early in his career. He got rocked real bad. It's like Errol defense.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
The guy.
I forget his name. Yeah, but I remember that fight. Yeah.
You know, Errol's defense was never really good, so there's room for the fight to be competitive. But because he got that Olympic amateur background and all of that, I would add Errol at his best. I'm talking about 2017, 2018 Errol, before the car accident. That Errol beats Conor Benn, I would say. Yeah, he would beat Conor Benn.
I agree. I think so.
Credit to Roberto Diaz. Credit to Roberto Diaz, the way he matchmaked all those guys before Al took him from Golden Boy.
Yeah. I remember the time that Errol got pieced up and he lost his mouthpiece against Ugas, and it was rolling and he was watching it roll on the ground. Remember that?
Yeah, he stopped in the middle.
Yeah, he didn't have a good defense. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
He stopped and started looking for his mouthpiece in the middle of the fight. I was like, "What are you doing?"
And it was just rolling on the. Remember that? Yeah.
The shit that I hate about that entire welterweight cycle is that if they wouldn't have been on some pussy shit, Terrence would have beat all them dudes by 2020. He would have beat all them dudes. He would have moved up to 154 by 2021 in time to fight Jermell Charlo. Like, you see what I mean? That y'all delayed that process because y'all didn't want to fight this motherfucker. So unfortunately for him, his resume does not have the depth that it could have had. You see what I mean? That his resume would have looked a lot better if you have Danny in there, and Thurman in there, and Porter in there, and Errol in there, in a timely fashion. But because y'all was on some bitch shit, right? His resume is not as deep as it could be. Like, he would have moved on to 154 a long time ago and probably been undisputed there already. But because of the way the shit broke down, Terrence became inactive. He's been fighting once a year for what, 3-4 years now?
5 years.
Because of the bullshit. Like, motherfuckers want to put that shit on him, and I'm like, yeah, y'all crazy. That was them that didn't want to fight that dude, bro. That's what that was. The fuck? That's why I like dudes.
It's a shame that he's moving up to one. I mean, I have no issue with him moving up to fight Canelo, but I kind of wanted to see him in more fights at 154 just to kind of gauge how good he could have been.
Because he ran out of time. You know, dude, 37. It's like, dude ran out of time. Now Canelo likely gonna knock him out. I ain't gonna talk no shit. I love the fight. I'm a fan of both, so whatever's whatever. But it's like, yeah, you ran out of time basically. Because in the time that they wasted, you would have been at 154. You would have been there after Charlo goes on his undisputed run. You would have got there, and y'all could have did that, and that would have been another big scalp. But, you know, shit is what it is.
And as far as Spence's claim to going to the Hall of Fame, let's look at what he did. He fought 7 world champions, and he knocked out 4 out of the 7 he faced, and he lost against 1. So his record stands 7-1-4 against world champions. So the amount of champions he's being held to is 7. Can you get in the Hall of Fame with that?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't see Spence fight 7 champions. Who was the 7?
The 7 champions are Chris Algier, Kell Brook.
Bro, come on, those are former champions. Bro, those are former champions.
What do you mean?
He won champions when he fought him.
What belt
Chris Algier won the champion when he fought him?
Yeah, but I'm saying you got to get credit for that. No, excuse me, gentlemen.
This is what I think happened. Errol Spence ascension was so fast that his fall was just as quick.
But wait a minute, no. But wait a minute, guys. That's how the record books hold Floyd Mayweather. Whether you were a current or a former world champion, if I fight you,
yeah, but this the thing. Hold on, this the thing.
Yeah,
I never agreed with that. I always thought Floyd was stat padding. You didn't fight that many champions.
Yup.
Didn't win that. You didn't win that many belts. You not look. Being a champion is the same as holding a job. It's a title and you lose it. You know what I mean? Because that's what we gonna say that. Oh, Conor Benn fought a champion in Chris Algieri. Okay, then what belt did he win from Chris Algieri?
I agree. I agree to somewhat what you're saying, but I don't make the rule books. What they write in the Hall of Fame and what they're giving them credit for, you can't okay, just because you lose your belt, then you go on and fight another opponent. Don't they say going into the matchup he's fighting a former world champion?
Yeah.
Bro,
So if you beat him, you beat a former world champion.
Bro, this Friday.
Right, so I gotta get credit for coming up against a champion, so to speak.
But
so
the
that
person
list.
wasn't a champion when you beat him.
So let me ask you a question. When Anthony Yiggett, most people don't even know who the fuck that is. When Anthony Yiggett goes in there with a 48-year-old Chop Corley, because Chop had an IBF title like 20 years ago. He beat a champion.
Okay. So by your definition, this gets worse for Errol Spence Jr.
Yeah.
This gets a lot worse.
The only champions, the only quote unquote champions that anybody should be tabulating are the people you actually won belts from, not guys who used to hold the fucking belt. Because there's a lot of guys that used to hold the fucking belt.
Well,
Francis Bartholomew used to hold a fucking belt.
Well, I'm only judging it.
Him now.
All right, I'm only judging it from what I was being told is the set principle or how they're I'm basing these fighters and how they're judging them and what they're awarding them for. You know, whatever I feel, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? If that's how you feel, whatever, okay. But in the books, what's written, they're giving him credit. You know, so his record is 7-1-4. That's what it reads. If you was to go to Wikipedia and look him up, that's what Wikipedia's gonna say. So I'm not arguing against them.
Bro, this Friday, after Ryan knocks out Rolly, are you gonna say that Ryan knocked out a former champion in Rolly?
Oh shit! Wait a minute, hold on. That's crazy. But he's gonna have to get credit for that.
Shit.
Oh shit!
That's the shit I'm saying. That boxing.
He's gonna have he would have come in. I'm sorry, I'm getting loud. He would have come in the ring against a former world champion, and then if he knocks him out,
that's the fucking joke, though. Like, look, that former champion bullshit.
But Rolly is a former world champion.
Can I finish a sentence? So you want to hold the
brother.
Show? All right, now that former championship was always stat padding. When Floyd did it, that's stat padding. I saw your whole career from the moment you debuted till now. You didn't fight that many champions. You didn't win that many belts from that many people. You didn't. I didn't care what the announcer said. At some point, you got to use your own. Like, I don't care what Wikipedia said. I don't care what the people who induct the boxing. I don't care what they said. I saw your career. You didn't fight that many champions. Just like your 49-0 bullshit. I knew that was bullshit. But stupid people weighed it up. 49-0, that's a heavyweight record. That don't mean nothing to a welterweight. It's a heavyweight record. Marky Marciano's heavyweight record. Yeah. But even that don't mean nothing. That he retired that don't mean nothing that he retired at 49-0. You retired at 32 years old, bro. You retired young.
And that's not even an official record.
That's what I'm saying. That's not a record of anything, bro. Like But
well then you're like bursting my bubble and my hope of Errol Spence's thing, because if you're taking that away from him, Jules, how the hell does he get into the Hall of Fame?
My dude, look, the shit with Errol, the shit with Errol is that I'm sorry, but he just wasn't that good. I seen great welterweights. You're not one of them. I seen great welterweight. You're not one of them.
No, not one of the best. He's okay.
You're just a guy. To me, he's just a guy.
Does Errol Spence even beat Ike Cortez?
No.
No.
And I Cortez, yeah, like
Errol don't beat Mark Breland, bro. What the fuck?
Diablo, Jules.
And the only
No lo mate, Jules.
The context, the only round, the record that matters is this. What is their record in title fights?
The shit I'm gonna say is this:
in title fights, he has 3 defenses.
The American boxing scene, especially, I say this more about the American one than any other boxing scene because nobody else does this. The American boxing scene in the last 10 to 15 years has grown accustomed to stat padding with, oh, he beat a bunch of former, all this bullshit. You know why? Because y'all slipping. Errol is not, I'm sorry, Errol's not great. The fuck is y'all talking? You lost one fight and your career is over. How are you great? Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Duran, came back. George Foreman lost to Ali, came back. Ali lost to Frazier, came back. That's great shit. You not great. You lost one fight and now you ready to call it a career. How the fuck is that great?
How many times did Tommy Hearns come back after he lost?
Exactly.
Tommy
loses to Leonard at 47, loses to Hagler at 60, wins the title at like heavyweight, bro. He wasn't finished. Errol, you lost one fight, you done. I'm sorry, but if those guys is great, then you not in line with them because you can't do what they did. Duran lost to De Jesus. What he did? Came back and beat De Jesus. And we know his Duran career didn't stop there. You could never do what Duran did. You could never go to 40. You started at 47. Duran started at 35. Okay. You, Errol, could never go to 60 and beat the top dude there because you didn't make it out of 47.
You asked me a question about
off by fucking Tommy Hearns and still goes to 160.
You asked me a question about how many champions he actually beat a belt off of. So it's 3. He beat Kell Brooks, Sean Porter, and Ugas.
That's it.
There's nothing Hall of Fame worthy of Errol Spence's career, bro.
There's nothing. There's nothing. The shit is that the Americans still want to they still want to act like they're producing the best fighters at a time when they're not. That's what the stat pattern is for. The Eastern invasion started about 15 years ago.
That's exactly why they
start seeing Soviet motherfuckers running around here beating everybody up, doing all that bullshit. The British Renaissance has lasted about 10 years, I'll say. That Britain started coming up. Britain started producing Olympians and medalists and people that's doing shit. This whole Errol fought. No, he didn't, dog. You fought 3 guys that
I
had
noticed that shit when they were doing it with Tank's resume because people were starting the talks were getting around that none of his wins are aging well, that he don't fight nobody, that. So what did they do? They went and got a title in Isaac's hands, in Rolly's hands. Yeah, when they said that,
crazy.
Tank don't fight no black fighters. What did he do? He went and fought fucking Frank Martin and then fucking Lamont Roach. It's the shit's so fucking obvious what they're doing.
They set the bar low so you could climb over it.
Exactly. They fucking lower the bar every time.
Every year they lower that shit. That shit is crazy. Yep. And the weirdest shit is you got a guy that's out there that he could have been these things you want these fucking losers to be, but y'all don't like him because he don't get in trouble enough or because he don't talk shit enough. You know what I'm talking about Terrence. Terrence don't be in no shit. He'll fuck you up, go home, and don't want to do no interviews.
Terrence got 47 kids to go home to and take care of.
You know what I'm saying?
He ain't got time for all them bullshit Americans like.
You know what I'm saying?
Also,
side note here, fellas. Hold on, wait, fellas. Side note. Let me ask y'all this, and Phil and Jules, but mostly this for you. Andre Ward, do you really think that he belongs in the Hall of Fame?
More than Errol. More than Errol. More than Errol.
Yeah, I agree.
Look. You know I'm not crazy about Ward, right? You know I'm not crazy about him.
That's why I was asking.
Here's a matter of fact. Ward is the last male Olympic gold medalist. That's a point. You were a unified Ring Magazine and lineal champion at 168. That's another point. You did the same thing at 175. That's another point. Did you get a gift against Kovalev? Yes, the fuck you did. But you're not the first fighter to get a gift, and you won't be the last. Everybody gets a gift. So to me, okay, you are Hall of Fame worthy, at least more so than any of these. Yes, more than Wilder, more than Spence, more than Thurman, more than Danny, more than a lot of people. Andre Ward. Tank. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Also, Ward has a win over Carl Froch. I know he's become a meme since, but Carl Froch back in the day was
a good scalp.
He beat his ass.
Bitch. That's a good scalp.
Right. So yeah, if I gotta compare Ward to those guys, I would say, yeah, definitely Ward has a Hall of Fame career. Definitely compared to those guys. Is it the strongest career? No, it's not the strongest, but it's good enough. It's better than him. Yeah, like Thurman. The other day on the Boxing Voice, somebody brought up Thurman as a Hall of for what, bro?
For what?
Who the
For
fuck
getting
said
his
what?
ass whooped by Manny?
For
Who said
what?
that? What? Because he beat Sean? Because he beat Bundle? What we doing?
No. What it is, he's got a Hall of Fame hairline.
Not even.
Not anymore, he don't.
That shit is a solar panel, bro. He recharges batteries.
Bro,
You
he
just
got
ain't-
that Vegeta hairline.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, but
Yes,
like
he's
a similar trend with these PBC is like after they suffer the first loss, most of them they never
hold
say
up, Keenan. Hold up, Keenan. You laughing at that, right? Timothy Bradley only ever got beat by one man, Manny Pacquiao.
2 times. That's it.
Look, you need to look at that resume again, brother. 2 division champion. He only ever lost to
Tim fought
one
everyone.
guy, Pacquiao. That's it.
No, yeah, that Milk Dud earned his spot in the Hall of Fame.
But can we take a collective?
The win over Marquez is better than anything on Thurman's resume. Anything on Errol's resume. What are we doing?
Bro,
And can we take a collective celebration, fellas? It is the fight week where Arnold Barbosa shuts up Teofimo Lopez, baby. We're here. We are fucking here.
I hope so.
I hope he wins, bro. I hope he wins. Like I said with Teofimo, I'm trying to be objective because y'all know I don't like him, but I said it in the last live. The worry is that nothing changed. Nothing about your corner changed. The hope was that Eddie would train you and some of that Canelo will rub off on you. Well, unfortunately for you, that didn't happen. So I don't know what you gonna do, bro. I literally do not know what you gonna do.
You stuck with your pops. Good luck with that.
I honestly thought the whole thing with his daughter throwing the punches while she was watching him was just so adorable. You could tell she loves her daddy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Barbosa's finna fuck T.O. up.
But either him and Devin are gonna lose. What do y'all think? Either him and Devin are losing. That's what I think.
I decided to go, and I could be wrong. That's the fun of it. I looked at Devin's stomach, Jay. You wasn't here when I said that. There's a picture of Devin with his shirt off, right? He got the steroid gut. I know the steroid gut when I see it. The steroid gut is weird. The steroid gut looks like a pot belly, but with a 6-pack. And Devin has one.
Marquez had the same gut.
Same.
It's bloated. You're bloated with a 6-pack.
Yeah, exactly. It's a picture of Devin. He bloated, but with a 6-pack. I'm like, I ain't even mad at you, by the way. Get your pet game up, because you hit like a fucking girl, bro. Do something, okay?
So who's the panel got on the fight?
So you picking Devin?
I got Devin over Ramirez.
And Tio?
I can't pick him.
Okay, and Ryan fight.
That's not even the real fight.
Okay.
Not even the real fight.
The rest of the panel from the top to the bottom. Who do you got in the 3 fights?
Ryan's beating former champion Rolly.
There's only a couple real fights. There's only a couple real fights this whole week, fellas. Like Inouye's gonna win, Canelo's gonna win. It's fucking Arnold, Tio, and Bacoli, and fucking who's he fighting?
Yeah, Bacoli or Jogba. I like that fight.
Oh,
that's a good fucking fight.
I hold on. I got Ryan. I got Devin, and I got Tio.
I got Ryan, Devin. I got Arnold.
You got Arnold? Who you got, Jay? Arnold?
I got Arnold. Yeah, I don't have Tio winning that fight.
Okay.
You mean you don't
what
have
about
the
Devin
Yorker
Haney
winning
and Devin Haney and who do you got?
Don't get fucking quiet, Jay. Who you got?
I got Ryan, Devin, and Arnold.
I'm gonna go to Leo. Let me go to Leo. Leo, shut the fuck up, Leo. Leo, shut the fuck up.
Poor Leo. Say nothing. He's the quietest guy in here.
Leo, Arnold Barbosa, Teofimo Lopez. Who's winning this weekend?
That's what I
What the fuck, bro?
You told me to shut the fuck up.
He was waiting for you to say that.
Good job, Leo. Good job.
Get him, Leo.
All right, Leo. All right. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the bullshit. Leo, who do you have winning that fight?
Quickly, I have Ryan. I have Barbosa, and I have Devin. The Devin fight, I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna pick him.
I'm there with you.
On fate.
What, Leo, on your same thing. Leo, what is making you pick Arnold over Teofimo?
It's the size, it's the length of Barbosa, and look, you haven't been. I'm gonna say this in retrospective because I know I have never defended Barbosa really, but I never thought that guy was really that bad. So now he proved himself against Catterall. So yeah, you can win a chess match against a guy that's really skilled. Until you're never gonna get rid of that Philly shell. You're gonna just press forward in that fucking Philly shell, and you're gonna get clipped over and over and over again if you don't even get dropped.
Do you think he could get dropped this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Look.
Oh shit! Yeah, I just
that fucking Sandor Martin. That was a top rank show. That's why you got a decision there.
Yes, sir.
And Arnold, I think he can do better.
The word I use for Tio, this is precedent. What does Tio always do when he's the overwhelming favorite and we expect him to win?
He shits the bed.
Exactly.
Shits the fucking bed, bro. Like a fucking toddler, bro. He shits the bed.
And what happens when he's the guy who has to chase, when he's the guy who has to initiate, as he will be against Barbosa?
Shits the bed. And I don't think, this is the thing. This is the thing. I don't like talking shit. Like, I'm not trying to talk shit, but realistically, it's too many red flags for me. Just like Leo highlighted, I've highlighted it myself in several videos of the relay. You got saved in the Sandor Martin fight. If that wasn't a top rank show, I don't think you would have won that shit. Same with Jermaine Ortiz. If that wasn't a top rank show, I'm not sure, right? Well, guess what? This weekend, this is not a top rank show. These ain't top rank judges. It's not.
Sure ain't.
And the last time you fought off top rank, right? Last time you fought off top rank, what happened? You lost. So
well, what I'm going on
I think he's gonna get the house. I think he's a food business fight for boots that fucking Turkey wants.
You think he could get a house decision off of that?
I think because they want him, they're lining him up to be fucking chewed up by Boots to stay busy in a big fight. Yes.
I can see the outcome that you guys are saying with Tio with the Philly shell, but I'm still going to stick on the lines that Tio is a sharper puncher. I think that at a certain point in the fight, after like the 7th, 8th round, the punches are start to accumulate on Arnold Barbosa, and he's going to start to reach. He's going to step with that one with the jab, and he's going to come straight just like he did in Jack Catterall. And I just think that Tio's a better puncher. Yeah, that when you said that Philly shell thing, I was like, oh shit, he's right. You know, but I'm gonna bank on Tio, man. And even though I don't like him, I just I think that he's the sharper puncher.
I agree with you, round one. But how do you reconcile the Steve Claggett and the Jermaine Ortiz performances, and then same thing with Arnold? Like, he doesn't show up when we expect him to show up. Like, he gets better he's better as the underdog.
Yeah, I also attribute that to not studying your opponent and not coming up with a good enough game plan, thinking that you're that good and you're Teofimo Lopez and you're riding on a couple wins and you think you're better than everybody. I think those are kind of fights that should be waking up calls to most fighters, but we're talking about hard-headed Teofimo Lopez here. You know, I want nothing more than somebody to break his mouth, but I didn't have Arnold Barbosa in the Jack Catterall fight, and I thought he was a BB plus fighter like that, but kind of that's what I think of Tio, but I just think that Tio's just slightly better, and I don't know. Let's see. Maybe he does his homework this time.
Well, for me, I got Ryan, beating Rolly. I'm gonna go with Ramirez. I think he can pull.
Really?
Oh,
wow!
Wow, you're not writing the fight.
Fucking country, bro.
I don't think he's as washed as people think he is, and I think he can give Devin some trouble. Not saying that Devin can't fight him, but I'm going with Ramirez on this one.
So you're going with Ramirez unless Devin wins?
No, I'm going with Ramirez. Nice try. But and now, in regards to Tio and Barbosa, I think he's gonna hang back, and Tio's gonna have to try to come forward, and it's gonna make him struggle. And I think Barbosa can do something with that and get a points decision win over him.
He's a spoiler.
I had a question.
Barbosa. He's a spoiler, man.
I had a question. Remember the who was the guy that Barbosa fought that he got a gift on the Haney Garcia undercard?
Oh
yeah, he lost that fight.
Can Tio do anything like that to him?
I'm sorry, I don't see it. Tio, it's like I gotta mitigate hate and put it away and be objective. Tio don't show a double jab. He don't show it. And when he does, he just doesn't. He does everything wrong as a guy who's on the front foot. As a guy on the front foot, he's like, what are you fucking doing? What are you doing? Get in a high guard. Getting punched in the head and shit. It's like your hands are out of position. Your hands are out of like. Look, it's not. There's nothing wrong with a high guard, bro. High guard, and your lead will be closer to the guy. You don't actually have to hit him. You can just put it out there so he covers up. Then you bring the right hand over. You do, and you've been doing everything wrong for, by my count, 4 years. The Lomachenko fight was 5 years ago, bro. The Josh Taylor fight, what was that, 2 years ago? Feels like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 5 years, you've performed well once.
He hasn't gotten better.
You've got about 5 fights, right? About 5 at 140. About 5. Yeah. Campas, Martin, Taylor, Ortiz, Claggett. You only look good once. That's crazy. 5 fights and you only look good once?
The more Jules explains it, man, he's making me see that was the same Jules, but you're making me see that was the same Teofimo Lopez copy, praise, and print. He didn't get any better.
Yeah, like what helped him in the Taylor fight, and I give him credit for Taylor just because, you know what, look, Taylor was lineal, Taylor was Ring Magazine, it is a good scalp, right? But what helped him in Taylor is Taylor's a mid-range guy. You don't have to chase him. He'll come to you, so even if he is taller, he's not going to use it. He's going to come to you. Barbosa don't do that. Barbosa hang back, shoot the jab, move around. All that bullshit you don't like. That's what he do.
And the only fight I really saw Barbosa struggle where he got a gift, like I said, that Tio doesn't do nothing like what's his name.
Nope.
Hey, if Tio loses, do y'all think that he'll blame Turkey?
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably. I mean, like shit, he lost to George and blamed Eddie.
Oh,
and the zone.
No, I think he's gonna blame Eddie again.
He'll probably blame Eddie. Like somehow it's Eddie's fault. And the weird shit is Barbosa's with Golden Boy, but he'll still blame Eddie.
I got Barbosa in this for all the reasons we've been saying. Ryan, obviously. And I got Ramirez over Haney. I don't think they've invented the steroid strong enough to make you hit harder.
I have those exact same picks.
Yeah, but you know what's funny, fellas? Seeing that whole round table, Tio is literally the dude from the retarded class, bro.
Yeah, He eat lunch in the homeroom class. That's how retarded.
Yeah, he gets special trays.
Yeah. Like you got to take it back to the class.
But you guys want to know something? Had it not been for Tio, though, talking all that stupid shit, most of these guys on this thing, when they had that interview, were quiet. Devin Haney wasn't saying nothing. Ramirez ain't saying nothing. Rolly can't say nothing. He got beat up by a midget. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of added to it when Tio was going around talking shit and getting them all to talk shit to him.
Yeah, but the shit is, you know why I came off like dick eating? Ay, Tio, okay, está bien. You gonna talk shit. You talking shit to a dude you not even about to fight, homie. You didn't really have no energy for Arnold. Why the fuck do you care about Devin and Ryan? That ain't you, brother. You fight.
Yeah, he's doing too much by that standard. Yes.
You don't got no. Yes or no.
Focus on yours.
That if you're a Teofimo fan, That's what you should be worried about, Tio. Why are you talking shit to Devin? You ain't about to fight Devin. You're not gonna fight him next, and you're not gonna fight him after next. That's him and Ryan got they shit going on. That don't got nothing to do with you. And you're talking more shit, and you're more focused on a guy that you're not fighting instead of the guy you are fighting. The other red flag, you didn't learn from what George did to you. That's why you're still in denial about it. You didn't learn. I didn't get beat.
But he was talking shit and boosting the fight You know what I'm saying? Like the promo of the fight. All these guys were like twiddling their fingers, looking at the ground, looking at the sky.
You know what that shit came off as?
My name, round one.
Like
I know it, but round one.
Walking
but
down
we're
the hall
real talk in the middle of a sentence. Like, goddamn. Go ahead, real
type
talk.
shit. Like, it's like Devin and Ryan walking down the hall. They got their business on, and T.O. in the background trying to get in the mix. It's like, bro, just shut the fuck up. Mind your business.
Yeah, that's different. Yes, exactly. Yep.
If they got beef, if they got beef or whatever it is, that don't got nothing to do with you, T.O. You starting the card off, brother. You in the undercard. So shut your undercard ass up and be cool, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's always T.O.'s approach. I get what he's doing. It's always his approach. It's always wrong. Like, you dead right. Had he focused on Arnold Barbosa and been talking to shit and then amped it up by selling it like that, then he could have got, you know?
Hay un video. Before we got here, hay un video. Okay, Arnold Barbosa, he came up to him. He's popping shit. They was both at somebody's fight. I forgot whose. Y lo que me molestó a mí también. Tú dejaste tu papá and your team to talk shit to Arnold and you just walked off. Para mí, eso me enseña que tú le tienes miedo a ese tipo. You didn't. We already saw what he said live. Don't make me fight that bum Arnold. What you mean? Don't make you fight that bum?
Why?
Right.
You fucking fought Steve Claggett, bro.
He walked off. He walked off because him and Rolly were fighting over who's supposed to get the white helmet.
But then, we're telling fellas, you got to remember, this is Teofimo Lopez. He carried around his fucking belts for a year like a Make-A-Wish kid, following Canelo every fight to take pictures.
Oh my God.
Just to not get trained by Eddie, bro. Ate all that dick, licked all them balls to not get trained by Eddie.
Right. He did duck Arnold Barbosa back then, bro. I forgot all about that until you just mentioned it. He ducked him, bro.
On live TV, he literally said, don't make me fight that bum Arnold. 2 years later, Arnold confronts him, right? They're at an event. Yeah. Arnold confronts him, and T.O. leaves his daddy and his team to deal with Arnold, and he did. And I'm like, yo,
T.O. finna be on the next episode of Curb Your Clout.
For real.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too, like I said, for me, everybody could pick who they're gonna pick, but for me, those are too many red flags, bro. Like, you don't want this. You don't want this. The WBO is making you do this, but you don't really want this, bro. You know?
In a way, do you think he aged Arnold Barbosa out a little?
No, because Arnold's not that old. What is he, 32?
Yeah.
That's not old, bro.
No.
Especially not for the way that not for the way that Arnold fights any. You know, Arnold hasn't been fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He hasn't been fucked up by anybody. Like, he hasn't been in any wars, any shit like that. And the way that he fights, he's cautious. He's very careful. He takes his time.
He's 33.
Well, that's really not old, bro. I'm sorry. That's not old.
He's 5'9", 33, 72-inch arm reach, and he has a 34% knockout ratio, and he's been 210 rounds.
Sound like Blue Blood Sports introducing
his video. I think Haney gets wobbled. I think he gets hurt, bro.
Does it tell you Arnold's shoe size too?
I'm going with steroid Haney, bro. I'm going to go with roided up Haney.
Nah,
my man, round one. My man, round one. I know you're a hardcore, bro. I know you are. I could tell. Do you really get excited when they're talking shit? Like, does that get your blood? Not really.
Nah. You see, I'm more of a student, man. I want to be a historian. I want to learn more and more and more, right? And what really gets me going is when you can see the purity in the sport. You can see the two men really go out there and combat. I'm a little against so
like for example, when Inoue was accepted in his award and he called up Junto, like, look, we're gonna fight next year. Like, gentlemen, that's the shit I like.
Yes, absolutely. Because you don't know Naoya anyway for shit talking. You know him for fighting. That's the purity of the sport. When you could determine the two. Sometimes things are in front of you, and sometimes it takes you a little while to figure out. Like, for instance, we call Naoya Inoue the monster. David the Monster Benavidez calls himself the monster. There's a difference. And then you see these subtleties in sports.
Who? Inoue and Junto.
Oh.
Right
Inoue.
now, I'm gonna say realistically, look, this is the thing, because I'm gonna say not realistically. If the fight were tomorrow, I would pick Inoue. The longer this fight takes to make, the more it favors Junto. So if it takes a year, that pick might change to Junto.
Junto's a big boy.
He's a big boy, and he hits hard. He doesn't have to be perfect. What the Neri fight told us is you don't have to be perfect to land on Inoue. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be what we learned in the Donaire fight. You don't necessarily have to be the youngest guy to land on Inoue. So, I'm a big fan of Inoue, but I've always maintained when he goes out, he's going to go out hard because he's too brave. Like, bro, you don't need to be doing a lot of this shit, but
long.
The thing with Naoya Inoue that strikes me is that usually when you look over the young guy coming up, it's his activity and stuff like that. And Naoya Inoue is such an active champion. He's fighting 4 times a year that he's not going down, I feel, where that Junto could have a real chance of like catching him. Now, although anything can happen in a fight, we learned that in Luz Nari fight, and when you look at the Donaire situation, if you eliminate Naoya Inoue out of that World Series of Boxing, who wins the tournament?
Donaire. You're right about
Yeah,
that.
Donaire.
Right about that. He would have won. That is true. If he knew he wasn't there, Donaire would have won that shit. Yeah, he would have won that shit. That's true. I hadn't thought about that, but that's true because he beat Ryan Burnett. I think he could have beat Emmanuel Rodriguez. I think he could have beat him. And yeah, he would have got that shit. You're right. I agree with that. I'm gonna go take
Another
a shit.
one.
Be right back.
Who do you guys got? Who you guys favoring in the Oshaki Foster, Binche, Stephen Timberland Fulton?
Foster, bro.
I'm gonna go to Oshaki. I'm gonna go to Oshaki in that one. I got Oshaki.
I don't think Stephen Kubo Fulton got enough power to even back up Oshaki Foster as an onslaught. I think he's gonna walk through Stephen Kubo Fulton's all his little bit of skill and his quick jab and his little
Fulton to wear
footwork.
the Timberlands again, though. That was pretty fly.
Yo, no, that was tight. That little outfit was tight. I don't know why a lot of people didn't like it. I got it. The b-boy look, bro, that was tight.
That was something unique. I fucks with.
But Stephen Kubo Fulton got problems, son, because if he stays at 126, that storm Naoya Inoue is coming up. We all know that he don't want that smoke. And then where does he go if he doesn't take the
Dick Ball?
Yeah, like he's in a tight situation there. I don't think he fights.
He can run it back with Angelo Leo if he wins.
That's a beautiful fight. That's a beautiful fight because I think Angelo Leo beats him today with with 2 good wheels. Remember, he had that brace on his leg when they first fought, so he had 1 bad wheel, and now I think that'll be a much different fight. I like that fight right there. I like that.
But he don't beat Rafael Espinosa either. I don't think.
But you know what? I think Rafael
Espinosa right now.
I think Stephen Kubo Fulton would be a good fight with Nick Ball, right? But I think Nick Ball's power is going to catch up to him. So what does he do? Does he fight Leo? I think that's a loss. Nick Ball, what does he do? Does he fight Espinosa at 6'1"? Hell no.
Mm-mm.
So what's he going to do? He's going to move up and fight Oshasi Foster?
I mean, Espinosa is the dark horse up there. I mean, he takes.
He is dark horse.
He takes everybody.
Let's run. What about that? Let's run through that card real quick. I got Canelo, of course.
Yep.
I think Jaime is gonna beat Bruno. I think he's gonna get his get back.
Yep.
I'm gonna go against the fucking grain, and I'm picking a Jogba over Bacoli.
Yeah.
Word.
What?
Yeah. I think Jogba's gonna get him.
That's brave, man.
You're going with the power rather than the skill?
Ballsy.
I think he's pride for the upset. I think he got happy off the payday and happy off another payday. I think a Jogba's hungry. I'm going with Badu Jack over Rosiski. I'm going with Polina.
Well, I thought
over Verde.
Rosiski's back on the card. I thought he pulled out.
Did he?
That's what I heard. I mean, is he back or?
And fucking, I don't know Aaron Guerrero, but I'm going with Leon.
For sure. My picks, I got same as Drew. I got Canelo winning. I got Jaime winning. Is a rematch. I'm gonna go with Bacoli to beat a jog, but I think he's gonna take this fight more seriously this time around. And because I hadn't beaten him before when he was gonna fight before. But my mind hasn't changed. I mean, my perception hasn't changed due to him getting stopped by just. But he had no camp. You know
no, short. That don't count. That was a short note. Yeah.
Yeah. He had no camp, so he's gonna take the time to prepare for this one. And Jogba's like, I can't really pick him because like ever since his loss to Frank Sanchez, he hasn't really shown much of his punching power. He's been trying to box, and I think that's gonna be his undoing in this fight if he tries to do that. So I'm gonna go with Bacoli. Then and I gotta look up if Ryan Rosiski is. I mean, if Ryan Rosiski is on the card, I'm gonna pick Ryan to beat Jack.
Yeah, I got Rosiski. I think Jack's a little too far down the road. I got Bacoli. I mean, I think it's going to be for a short while. It would be a little bit of a firefight, but I think I got Bacoli, coming out on top. I obviously have Canelo winning. Canelo ain't losing to him. And then, what was the other fight?
Munguia.
I got
Munguia,
beating El Dinosaur.
The Frenchman.
All I gotta say is he better win.
He can't lose to a Frenchman on Cinco de Mayo, the Battle of the Pueblo, where they beat the French.
Yeah.
Now round one, I have a more specific question for round one, brother.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from Jaime Munguia after being in a whole camp with Canelo? What are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for Jaime Munguia to stay mentally focused the entire fight. He wasn't losing the fight. I feel where he failed the fight is that he lost focus of what he was doing. And he started relaxing in moments. He needs to stay mentally focused. As far as his fighting, he was fighting a great fight. He just made a mental error, had a brain fart, stood in front of a guy, and the guy put his jaw on the third bleachers with 4 knockouts. So
no
that's what I'm looking for.
Stuff that you're also looking for, like no new wrinkles.
No, well, I don't think you had to change anything in Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia is going to be Jaime Munguia. He has traits to him that he's been fighting since he's been young, and tells, and they haven't changed in the fight. So as far as his fighting style, no. Just he needs to stay the course. Stay alert, keep your guard up, watch your distance, manage the fight, and just be himself. He'll win the fight with the jab.
I'm the only one with Bruno,
really,
then, huh?
That's what I want to see from Jaime this time. The jab and the straight. Like you can go for the body, you can go for big hooks to the head, but the first 1 or 2 rounds, the jab and the straight. Establish your range, and then you do whatever the fuck you want.
I think he's gonna kill that guy before the midway point, man.
Oh, Jules, I'm glad you're back. Now I could ask you: is Ron Rosiski still on that card, or is he taking off?
Nah, he got taken off because he got injured. He got a bicep injury.
Oh, son of a bitch! Wow, ain't that some shit?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line for Jaime. Not just the retribution, but there's a big fucking fight if he wins.
I mean, McKaylian is standing. It's like the McKaylian fight is not a bad fight for Jack. In fairness, it's not a bad guy to come back with. It's just the implication is if McKaylian win that belt, he's not gonna fight Jai Opetaia. That's why I'm like, I mean, like he ain't gonna fight that dude, bro. He's not. He probably even go. He might fight CBS because he won this weekend. Chris Billum Smith. He might fight him. So it's like, Jack winning, like maybe Jack would fight Ja, but Jack is another one. That dude is 40-something years old. You really think he gonna go in there with him, or would he go in there with Zerto?
Neither.
Zerto.
You don't win both. You don't win them fights. You don't win them fights.
I'm just saying that if he has to pick, it's hard to imagine that Jack at his age is really gonna go in there with Jai Opetaia. It is hard. I hope he does, but I don't really like how cruiserweight is looking right now. In other words, like, I don't really like what's going on right there.
Yeah, it's a mess.
All y'all trying to find a way to swerve this dude, B.
Yeah, you would have thought the Breedis rematch would have guys ready to jump in there, which are like, oh, Breedis was putting paws on him. He got him worn out at the end. Nope.
They don't want to know. They don't want to know. They got too many alternatives.
Rosicky needs to get like well again and get back in the game, because if he was fighting Jack, I'd have picked him to win, and if he did, he would have fought Jai.
That's
you guys
why I
gonna
had
think I'm crazy.
Good.
But you're gonna think I'm crazy. I'm salivating for Munguia versus Berlanga. I need them both to win. I need that fight.
No, yeah. I mean, like that's no. I mean, and that one's doable since they're both fighting on Where's Berlanga's next fight? Where's he fighting?
He's on Riyadh, the ring card.
No,
right?
He's supposed to be fighting in New York, but they don't know where the venue is. It's rumored to be Central Park or something.
Yeah. The what card? Who's headlining that card? Yeah, he is. He is.
And then Shakur's supposed to be the co-main event.
Fight Williams Zepeda.
Remember?
Yeah.
So I want him in Berlanga, yo.
Does he beat Shiraz?
Yes.
Yes, Pakistani chin.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I got Berlanga in that.
I'm gonna go to Leo because I trust him. I trust Leo more than y'all. Leo, does he beat Shiraz?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Look, that Berlanga beat Shiraz. No, I think Hamza's gonna beat him. Look, this is the thing. The reason I think Berlanga is choosing to fight Shiraz. This guy moves very, very carefully, and I think he probably heard some rumors that this guy cannot take a punch, or something like that. But I think he's miscalculating. I think Shiraz is very skilled, and he has the style to beat him. And no, he's not gonna be a little guy there. Shiraz is huge, and he has a reach. Look, if this was something like, if this was, for example, a guy like Lara. Moving up, Berlanga will take him out. But not this guy, because this guy is not really a middleweight. This guy is a super middleweight.
Super middleweight, yeah. Wow.
You're fighting as a middleweight, so.
I mean, Berlanga has a big weakness in this fight, and it's what is it? Oh, he sucks. So Shiraz is gonna beat the shit.
Sucks to suck, bro. Sucks to suck.
Actually, I'm surprised that Edgar Berlanga is not on the PBC. He'd be a good fit for them, to be honest.
Bro, he'd be fucking perfect over there, bro.
No.
Fit like a condom over there, bro.
You know why he wouldn't be? Keith Conley wouldn't let him. Like, nah, motherfucker, I need you to fight often so I get paid. That's why he don't belong.
Ain't that the real shit though? Like, Keith gonna keep you active, but he might get you beat. You know what I mean? But he'll keep you active though. Might get you beat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
look, the moment I sold my stock on Berlanga, look, I was really worried about him punching these motherfuckers' guards and getting a knockout in the first round, like for 15 fights. I was like, I don't know about this guy. And then he went against Steve Rolls, and Steve Rolls, the guy is not really world level.
He's not.
And I was thinking, okay, maybe 4 or 5 rounds he went the distance with him. Yeah,
the Romer and Gulo fight was when I really sold mine, bro. Because I'm like, I see what Top Rank tried to do with Rolls and Coceres. And I'm like, okay, so they were trying to see how you do with movers. And they established that you don't do well with guys who can move. The Romer and Gulo fight, they got you the opposite of a mover. They got you a guy who's going to come to you and try to mix it up on the inside. And when I saw that he got gun shy with him, that's when I said, like, yeah, you're not good with movers. You're not good with you're just not good then. You're not good anywhere with anything.
You know why I'm saying it's Steve Rolls? Because that guy is not a mover. That guy was never.
No, he is. He is. He's a mover and a jabber. If you watch his other fights, aside from the Golovkin fight, if you watch his other fights, because he's based out of Canada, he's a Canadian fighter. He's a domestic level Canadian fighter, by the way. He's not world level. But if you watch him, that's basically what he does, move and jab. It's basically what he does.
Yeah,
plus he's a middleweight too. He moved up for that fight, I think.
No, he's really he's a super middleweight. When Golovkin fought him, it was at super middleweight.
Oh, was it?
It was,
yeah,
it was above. Okay. It was above middleweight. It was above middleweight. Yeah. Good. At a catch weight. Go look at it. It was above middleweight. Yeah, 100% sure.
Yeah, but Leo, like I'm in agreement with you. I've been saying the same thing. It's like those first round KOs, nothing but smoke and mirrors. I never bought into that at all.
Yeah,
I agree, fellas. But Shiraz got hand issues, and I don't trust that fucking chin, bro.
I don't trust his chin, granted, but do we trust Edgar's?
No.
Well, I kind of trust Edgar's more than his because Edgar got hit by a Saul punch and got up, and Saul didn't knock him out, right? So, and then when it comes to Hamza's last performance, you know, I gotta ask myself, did he win that fight against Carlos Adames? And did Carlos Adames had him looking a little puzzled, and he was evading a lot of his shots, and
I don't disagree with any of that. The thing is, does Edgar do what Adames does? Easy answer.
That's the question.
No, he does not. No. Now wait. Now you survived Canelo. You did.
Yep.
By fighting like a bitch. You didn't fight. You didn't fight Canelo.
He stood in front of him. He didn't run.
What? Bro,
where did he run?
Bro, all that dude did was move away for 36 minutes when he fought Canelo.
Well,
Jaime fought Canelo. Jaime fought him. Edgar, all you did was circle away. Stay on the perimeter of the ring, circle away, try for punches that don't land. All right, I got to get out of here.
I think why I'm picking Edgar, I think Hamza is not mentally weak, but I think psychologically he's running away from the fact that he lost that fight and using the manager and Ricky Funes as an excuse and overhauling the whole team when it was really him.
I would agree with you except for what he said. He said that people on his team started acting funny style with him. I think he was talking about Ricky Funes. I never saw him blame his team for what happened. I did see him say that, his own people turned on him. That's what I saw him say. So I put two and two together.
Right. And they've already had a rough relationship, Jules. Like, if you watch the 3 knockdown rule where Hamza and Ricky's like, yeah, sometimes it's been rough days. So,
Yeah, but
to get rid of the manager too?
I never saw him blame Ricky or the management on that. I never saw him do that. I always thought, look, the reason he going to Andy Lee is because motherfuckers was acting funny style with him. That's what he said. That's what I got out of that. When you say motherfuckers acting funny style with you and then you get a new trainer, I know what you talking about then. Because why would you get a new trainer? But I never saw Hamza say, yeah, I lost because Ricky fucked up my oatmeal. Yeah, I lost because Ricky burnt the fucking Hot Pockets, bro. He burnt the fucking beans. I never heard him say that.
No, for me, I don't need to hear him say that. But just like any sport, when they get rid of the coach and the GM after one loss, it's like, oh, okay. You're looking for something.
Fair enough. That is a fair assessment. They're like, yeah, you got rid. I hear you. That why did you get rid of him? He telling you, but he not telling you because it's like, well, why would you get rid of Ricky because of the Carlos fight? You didn't even lose the Carlos fight. Are you blaming Ricky? I hear you.
But Andy Lee's an interesting addition, though.
Andy Lee training some motherfuckers, bro. The Renaissance of Joseph Walker.
Yep. Hello.
How are you in 2 places at once? How are you able to train and then grab ass at the same time?
If I beat my dick twice, I end up in Ireland. All I got, I'm in Dublin.
Damn, I got to try that, man.
So
you ended up in Ireland after the second Wilder Fury fight and the third Wilder Fury fight. You were in Ireland.
What's the bitch name in the Wizard of Oz? What's her name? Dorothy. She clicked her heels 2 times.
You clicked your fucking cock twice.
I beat my.
I didn't need that mental image in my head.
Yeah.
I know, man.
No Diddy, no pause.
Did you just say that's a visual in your head?
I said I didn't need that visual in my head, man, motherfucker.
A fucking portal opens and I walk
like Doctor Strange and shit.
You know what it is? No, it's like the Stargate. It's like that movie Stargate, but the jizz is the portal.
Hey, yo, so is that
all right? Come on.
The difference is
I'm trying to get off of that. Like,
the difference is when Doctor Strange do the shit, he like that, but I gotta hold my dick and do the circle like that. I gotta hold
my God, Oh yeah. So is that the same situation like when Joshua lost and he left his team? Would it be under that situation?
You could kind of say, like, honestly, you could kind of say that because you know you lose. What was it? He lost to Usyk and he got rid of Rob McCracken.
Right.
some people thought it was a good idea because they like, look, Rob McCracken really trained a lot of amateurs. You know what I mean? I saw people saying that. But at the same time, it is a valid point that if you leave Rob McCracken, it's almost like you blaming him for the loss. Right. You went to Robert Garcia, and he had like a Spanish dude after that. I forgot the dude's name. He's like a Spanish-British dude. And then you went to them, you bounced from them to Derek James. Then you went from Derek James to Ben Davison. It's instability when you do that. You know what I mean? Like, yo, how many trainers you need, bro?
So Brian Matias lost to Liam Paro, and he left Panda.
He left Panda. Yeah, he left Panda in the heart. I don't know if you could say that was good. I don't know if you, because I felt like he looked all right with Panda. Like, bro, he was doing his thing with Panda. Like, I don't think you should have left Panda, to be real with you. Like, he's perfect for you. He's a perfect fit for you. But, yeah, I mean,
just to play devil's advocate here, sometimes messages get old. Like, it's not necessarily the coach's fault. It's just that, like, you win as far as you can with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's another angle of it, that how long do you rock out with a trainer? But I don't know. It's like Golovkin, for example. Golovkin looked so much better with Abel Sanchez than he did with fucking Jonathan Banks. He looked weird with Jonathan Banks.
And I was just told they finally made up. I was having dinner with Tom Loeffler last week, and like, yeah, him and Abel are back cool again.
Shout out to Tom Loeffler. He's still doing shows and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I don't know. Like, it's like, can you expect a trainer, a fighter, to be with a trainer for their entire career? Because it just doesn't happen that way, you know.
That's a rarity.
How many guys stay with the same dude their whole career? How many?
Felix Trinidad still with his father his entire career.
Esos son los tiempos antiguos.
Yeah.
These days, these guys, I don't know. I guess Gervonta Davis, right? He been with Kelvin Ford from the beginning, and he's still with him, right?
I think Tyson would have stayed with, you know, D'Amato.
Of course.
But he died, you know.
Nah, because they chased Kevin. No, because I know Cus D'Amato's a great guy, but a lot of the stuff that we saw was Kevin Rooney. You know that. A lot of what we saw was Kevin Rooney, because Cus died. I forgot when Cus died, but he died early. You know, like in Tyson's professional.
It was shortly before he became champion. Like shortly before that.
2 fights before he became champion.
So a lot of the shit we saw was Kevin Rooney, and it's my understanding basically the entourage and all them bloodsuckers sort of chased Kevin Rooney away. That's what I remember reading. So, you know, if he would have stuck with Kevin Rooney, who knows? But, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit is crazy, bro. Anyway, I'm gonna fucking go to sleep, man.
Happy New Year, fellas.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Two jerks, no place like home.
Yeah, I gotta go to Dublin right now, bro. I gotta go to fucking Dublin right now.
He's gotta go to Dublin right now.
You got a ginger broad waiting for you over there, huh?
Yeah, I gotta open this portal real fast.
I'm about to end up in Russia right now.